Hello, and welcome to the Queen of Hearts discussion of her Venus card, her relating style. So before I get into that, let me just say really quick, and you can fast forward through this, you have heard it already, but go to itiskismet.com to find out what your card is and to get a few paragraphs of the report for free, or you can purchase the report. They're on sale. You can also get a Cosmic Connections report, Royal Archetypes, which is amazing and fascinating. You can look at the suit of a person that you're in relationship with and look at their Jack, Queen, and King. And that's what we're going to be talking about at the end of this video, Jack, King, and Queen of Hearts. Also, you can go to Facebook and find Kismet cards, and you can go to my personal Facebook page where I give card readings to kind of get a feel for what's going on energetically for all of us, as well as drawing cards for individuals who tune in. So let's get down to the Queen of Hearts. So hearts are the realm of the emotions, people, and love, and queens are those, or that archetype in us that relates one-on-one. The mother, the mentor, the teacher, the coach. She also represents internal mastery. So the king represents external mastery. The queen represents the internal mastery. So internal mastery of your emotional realm, what does this hand kind of throw up to you to give you a challenge in terms of mastering yourself emotionally? So the ego expression, some of the stumbling blocks for the Queen of Hearts in general, is that they can be impatient, they can have control issues, insisting on their way, kind of shooting on you in terms of what they think is important. They can be a little delusional too. It's the card of illusion. So they can be like really stuck on a certain perception or belief or feeling, and it can be simply not true. So discerning what's true and not true is a challenge for them. They can be cruel and biting, judgmental, over-managing, and it's also the card of addictions. So, what is the essence expression of the Queen of Hearts? She calls others to their responsibility. She holds a very high standard for herself in terms of personal responsibility. What am I responsible for in this world? The reason I say this is because the first three cards in their hand are the crown line. So that might be blah blah ginger for those of you who don't know about the cards. But what that means is you've reached a sort of pinnacle in your, this is just to think about it this way, a sort of pinnacle in your lifetimes, and or maybe it's just a big cycle, but we all get there eventually of, I'm responsible to the world, to leave something, to create something, to do something. So there's kind of a big feeling for the Queen of Hearts. So with that power, they can be an advocate for the truth. They can be gifted with discernment. They can see the big picture, be very good managers. And yes, they're compassionate and tender-hearted. But you'll have to look to the King and the Jack for more of that. The Queen actually is the one with the power and the leadership kind of energy going on. So in her hand, everybody's got about 13 cards in their hand, and one of them, the Venus card, is devoted to relationship style, lovers, friends, but also a sense of what brings calm and ease and pleasure, as well as the women in your life. The Venus card will tell you what kinds of women will enter your life and how that plays into your own feminine archetype, whether you're a man or a woman. So this is the Eight of Diamonds, as I've mentioned. This powerful card influences relationships in every exchange. And sometimes it's viewed for what influence they can have over others. They can have kind of a proselytizing approach. Let me bring you over to my way of thinking and seeing and valuing. Control as a love language. They can also be seeking to redeem all of those who are errant in their thought. And we can see how this can go both ways. On the other hand, they will call others to the truth. and to take responsibility for themselves. And because they have spades underlying their hand, they will take action. So this is a really good card, a very good energy for a call to action, calling others to action, and maybe even organizing them, being the one behind the scenes who's making sure that everybody fits into their slot. Because the Eight of Diamonds is kind of a CEO card, and I can even see this in myself. One of my birth cards is a heart. And sometimes I step into this energy kind of from a behind the scenes thing to say, okay, what time are we meeting? What's going to be the topic? Let's move the conversation ahead right now. So yeah, management can come with all different kinds of energies and motivations. They always seem to want the best for others. So that's something to keep in mind. Even if they are incorrect about what would be best for somebody. Sometimes they do see it very clearly because of that crown line, and sometimes they're given to delusion because they're in the intersection of Neptune. But that motivation is pretty strong in them throughout. I want the best for you, however misguided at times. So that's a little bit about the relating style of the Queen of Diamonds, or Queen of Hearts. I want to mention also that under that Eight of Diamonds is the Queen of Spades. So that's partly where that incredible energy for helping comes through, because queens are all about helping, making a difference. The Queen of Spades is about self-mastery in the most profound and comprehensive way. So it is through relationship that the Queen of Hearts has the opportunity to really master themselves. And the Queen of Hearts in particular is about mastering their emotional realm. It doesn't mean that they're good at it. It means that that's their task or assignment in this lifetime. So let's talk a little bit about the King and the Jack of Hearts. And I have entire videos on those, of course. But just know that if you are a Queen of Hearts or a female heart, you're not locked into that relating style. There's also a King and a Jack. So the King has a Six of Hearts in his Venus position, which gives him a sense of kindness, the love of harmony and flow. It's a very sweet energy, and it's also a very heavily caretaking energy. And the Jack, the Jack of Hearts has the Nine of Spades in Venus, which is a very expansive and even spiritual perspective. So rather than being engaged in action or taking care of business as the King would do, being pragmatic, the Jack is just gonna, which is your inner child as a heart, or that youthful creative side. They're just going to open it up wide and say, everybody's welcome, every perspective is welcome, let's take the biggest perspective we can. It's a very playful, beautiful, kind of magical energy. So hearts are prone to go into their inner child because hearts represent childhood. Clubs represent adolescence, diamonds are adulthood, spades are the sage. So anyway, that's it for today. That's it for this one. So be sure to like and subscribe and share, especially with your friends who are hearts. And if you don't know what their card is, go to itiskismet.com, linked below, and find out what your card is and what their card is. Have a wonderful day, and thank you so much for listening.